We're live.
We are live.
coreSTORE's got some upgrades just for you. New release notes feature so fine. Tune in now, it's update time.
We're going to let everybody kind of straggle in here for a minute or so. So enjoy the robot song that you wrote for Josh Oates.
Bringing more power to run things right. Faster, smoother, better control. New tools and tweaks to help you roll. From checkout speed to inventory flow, we've got the updates. You're good to go.
Hey, Carter, Yo back out. Adam Spencer, hopefully we got you all ironed out.
Stay ahead, no time to stop. Every update, every tweak, coreSTORE's getting
Myron.
coreSTORE's growing, getting bright.
How are you?
Keeping your business running tight. Stay tuned in, don't miss
Hey, Josh.
a beat.
Josh Oates, nice to see you.
It's our
Hey, guys.
Relic Arms. It has been a good one. I am the robot and the overlord of the robot. Not overlord of people. You guys are way too smart for that. Well, we're not going to listen to that again, are we?
I actually wrote that riff, so
That was cool. Hey, everyone.
So yeah, we've got obviously everybody. I'm sorry, I was distracted with. There's too many screens in my face, but welcome everyone to episode 3 of coreSTORE Update Live. Today we have obviously CoreWare Actual here with us, Ezra, and I think he's gonna run the whole thing. So Oki, I think you and I can leave.
No, I am
Oh,
not
yeah.
running the whole thing. Absolutely not. No, I wanted to interrupt the whole thing with just a couple of things. So the challenge that Joel and Josh, you guys don't know about, but you may have to retitle these what do we call them? The coreSTORE update?
yep,
Update
coreSTORE
live.
Update Live.
Yeah, because one of the changes we're going to implement, we're actually probably, it's not 100% certain, but we're leaning towards moving to a monthly instead of bi-weekly update for coreSTORE. And actually, same thing with CoreForce. So now I don't want anyone to panic. We still release hot fixes. If there's a bug, we get it fixed as quickly as possible, but we want to potentially slow down our update process. We're pretty aggressive when it comes to trying to enhance things and trying to keep our systems, always with the latest and greatest and listening to our customers. But at the same time, we now have an actual full QA department. We've had this for a little while, and between the two systems, between CoreForce and coreSTORE, we're running at such a fast pace, it's sometimes hard to keep up from a QA standpoint. So we'll probably move this to monthly, but not the meetings, right? Because the feedback we're getting from customers is really good. And you can still call it the coreSTORE update. It's just, I want to make sure everyone knows every other week, it won't necessarily be, hey, here's the latest update, but it may be an update that relates
Right.
to maybe different things, right?
Maybe more of
there's-
a roadmap style.
Yeah, maybe roadmap. So maybe 1 week we're going to share what we thought of is 1 week we'll share with you what's coming, right? So here's what to expect, and the following the week after, in other words, the 2 weeks after, right? We're off cycle. So
Mhm.
1 week coreSTORE, 1 week CoreForce, 1 week coreSTORE. So the idea is, when we do the release, you obviously will actually show screens and show you how things are implemented. But especially because there's a lot of participation in the chats, I think giving you a preview of what's coming or things that we're working on, I think is going to be really beneficial. Just to give you a little preview, now this is not coming in the very next update, but we've got a really exciting auction site integration that we're working on. And I'm super excited about it. I'm not going to reveal a whole lot of detail, but this is an auction site that's different than any other site. It's a live auction site. So if you've got used guns that and again, most of our audience is in the firearms industry. We don't take used CBD products, but as far as I know, CBD stores don't deal with used products. I would hope not.
I don't think so.
If you're in the if you're in the firearms industry and you've got Gun Broker, you've got GunSpec, you've got all these marketplace choices, but we've got a really a neat one coming up, and they actually do live auctions. We're going to build a really good integration into them. So just a little preview for what's coming. But I really want to address, really the most important thing and the reason why I'm here. And obviously, I'd love to be here in every meeting, but I'm sure everyone gets sick of hearing my voice. So, but the reason why I wanted to be here is because the buck stops here, right? I know many of our audience, you're either managers of the store, you're the owners of the store. And like any business, the buck stops at the owner, right? So I wanted to address just quote unquote the overall coreware stability issue. And I really, in order to address that, we need to separate. And I'm not going to really spend a ton of time. I don't want to waste people's time. You're here to hear about the update. But part of my update is to make sure you know what we're doing to stabilize systems. And when I talk about this topic, unfortunately, we have to divide it into two, right? There's Core4 stability, which is your website. And again, both environments for us on the technology side, we're running everything in the cloud, right? And everything is running on AWS, which is, the Amazon. It is the most popular cloud platform out there. There's Google and there's Microsoft are the two others. And we've been with Amazon from day one. Many firearms manufacturers, distributors, they all use Amazon. Amazon is not anti-gun, despite people thinking they just don't sell guns. That's really the distinction there. So as long as we adhere to their terms of service, they're a perfectly amazing platform to run on. So we've got a single environment, but obviously when it comes to a public-facing website versus an internal application and essentially a private application like coreSTORE, they're very different setups. And I'll quickly address coreForce, right? And when I talk about something like coreForce, it's interesting because yesterday, I don't know, I'm sure Joel, you and Josh both saw the news. X, was literally brought down.
Yes.
Twitter, X, same thing. And this is the constant battle with public sites. And it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter if you're the richest man in the world. You can be brought down. And typically it's with DDoS attacks, which is denial of service attacks. In the case of X yesterday, it was a concentrated effort by apparently a bunch of Ukrainian hackers that initiated that attack. And at the end of the day, the effect of a DDoS attack, right, denial of service attack, it doesn't always have to come from a nefarious place, right? It literally, an quote unquote attack may not be an attack. It may just be this spike in traffic, right? We've seen a tremendous spike in traffic from a lot of what I call novices that aren't trying to do anything nefarious, but they think now they're an expert at tech experts, thanks to ChatGPT. Thank you, ChatGPT. Right. And I'm being very sarcastic, right? We love, right, AI, and we have series of webinars where we talk about AI, but there are dangers to AI, right? And one of these
Yes.
dangers is it brings down the technology to the point where anyone who thinks they can write a prompt, can basically create an application that actually misbehaves, right? So imagine you're come up with the greatest idea. Let's do a marketplace. There's about 1 million of them out there, in case you didn't know.
Right.
So how do you do a marketplace? Well, I need the content. I need to know who has the items. If they have inventory, what's the easiest way to do it? Go scrape a bunch of websites. Scraping a website sounds like a great idea. It's not a good idea. And a lot of times, if it's not written properly, all you're doing is causing more and more traffic, right, to a website. Every marketing email that gets sent out by a customer, that can cause a traffic spike, right? So no matter what server environment you're on, there is no foolproof solution for this. X would not go down. PlayStation Network was down for over 24 hours. So public facing sites, it's a constant battle. So I want to make sure that you understand, if you're talking to, freaking Coreware, my website keeps going down, great. There's other solutions out there. But if they're telling you we're never going to go down, they're lying to your face, right? So just keep that in mind. And they may be more stable, right? As we grow and as we add more customers, as our customers become more successful, we invite people, right? Not literally. I prefer them not be invited, but we're basically inviting people to, again, there's nefarious attacks, bad actors, and then there's the non-nefarious ones. And we're just constantly, it's a constant battle. I mean, that's part of us as a hosting company. So that's CoreForce. So I just want to give everyone a realistic picture. And we keep hiring more people. By the end of this month, we'll be at 70 people strong. We bring in more resources, more developers. Now we have a whole DevOps team, which is basically responsible for monitoring and tracking servers and websites. And again, it's an evolving process. And our goal is to just bring more and more stability and be able to be a lot more proactive, right? We don't want to hear from you that your site is down. We should be telling you that your site is down. That's our responsibility as a good hosting company. So, and again, I want to remind everyone, we get no joy when your website is down. It's quite the contrary. So that's CoreForce, right? That's that website. Then we've got coreSTORE, your point of sale system. That should not and cannot ever be down. Literally. I can't emphasize that enough. We took coreSTORE live in September of 2019. I can literally count on one hand how many times, we've had an outage, and most of them have been super, super brief. But to me, that's still unacceptable. And certainly these latest events of when we went down, and I know there was tremendous slowdown, and then we were actually down, and you've got customers in your store trying to check out. That is the absolute worst case scenario. And you have every reason to be pissed off, every reason to find this to be unacceptable. It's unacceptable to me. And that's why we've been able to keep coreSTORE extremely stable. Yes, when we do an update, sometimes there is a bug, but again, that's very different than having a server situation happen. For those of you who have been customers of ours for a long time, I don't bullshit. I'm very transparent. At this point, I wish I could give you the exact answer of what happened. We are right now going up the ladder with engineers at Amazon. We're scratching our head a little bit, which I know doesn't sound good, right? But at the same time, we are putting things in place to make sure this doesn't happen again. I don't have the exact root cause of what happened. All we know is there was a spike in terms of the database usage. It locked some tables, and it locked it to the point where, and again, one of the nice things with coreSTORE is, for CoreForce, if you're not an enterprise customer, you're you're in what I call the apartment building, right? So you're in an apartment building, everyone has an apartment, and at the end of the day, it's like internet that, cable internet versus your fiber internet, where cable internet is you're sharing that, the neighborhood is sharing. So you'll see, you'll see sometimes it's really fast, but when everyone comes back from work and school, suddenly you'll start seeing your speed go down because you're sharing those resources. For your website, it's very much shared resources. For coreSTORE, you're in your own databases, right? But at the end of the day, we've got a set of servers. It's not just a single server. We've got a set of servers. We got failover servers. We have a lot of things in place that we have proven has provided a very stable environment for coreSTORE. And again, I don't think anyone can argue that, right? Because again, my background is before even spending 18 years in distribution at Sports South, I was in the point of sale. For those of you who don't know me, I wrote my own point of sale system. Some of my customers included the New England Patriots. They were a customer of mine for 70 plus years, the Indianapolis Colts, Cleveland Indians. And I single-handedly wrote this point of sale system. And I learned, as you can imagine, so imagine you're a busy store. Can you imagine a football stadium, right? I mean, you cannot go down. And I've got some stories on that, but I'm not going to. Maybe we'll save those for another day. But the bottom line is we understand the importance and the severity of any downtime in your point of sale system. We know you've got those customers staring you in the face. This is why when we had a problem with the credit card gateway, I mean, we try to eliminate what I call the onion layers as much as possible. This is why we like having control over everything. The latest downtime that was suffered, which was Thursday and a Friday on coreSTORE, that's all on us, right? I mean, that's our server environment. The failover didn't happen fast enough. Again, this is why we're leaning into Amazon. It turns out, I always thought that, and this is news for Joel and Josh. I don't know if I shared this with you, but I always thought we were kind of a nothing in the world of Amazon, right? You're talking about Amazon hosts people like Netflix and NASA and, a lot of, so I'm like, yeah, we spend, I mean, I'll be transparent. We're spending, well, I hope we don't hit $1 million this year, but we are literally at a spend rate of about, we'll end up spending this year, my guess is $750,000 with Amazon, which again is a ton of money. It's a ton of money for anyone, on the call here. Do your math, based on what you pay us, do your math. And, it's our server costs are tremendous, and I'm not complaining. It's just a fact. So we spend a lot on infrastructure, but in the grand scheme of things, for me, that's a ton of money. Like, holy crap. But I'm like, well, Amazon has all these huge customers. They don't give a shit, right, about us necessarily. But I have to say, it turns out, we're in this, I guess they divide their customers up, right, which we all kind of do, right? You have your platinum members if you're a range and your gold members. So we're in some group. I don't know in what level group we are, but I was told that we're actually the top 3 largest customers in this group. They were like, Ezra, you tell us what you need. And I'm like, wow, I never even thought you guys even cared.
Knew who we were.
Yeah. So we've got the engineers looking at it, and, top tier engineers trying to figure out what exactly happened. If it was partially a hardware failure, if it was a partially software. We're looking through our own code, making sure there's not any bugs that would cause this table lock. I've got the best of the best talent working on this. We are not expecting, obviously, it to hit again. We've already improved, our monitoring. We're improving our failovers. We're working with Amazon to make sure that the failover doesn't fail. There's no point of a failover if it fails, right? It's like doing a backup. All right, I'll share this story. Back in the days of Sports South, and Joel, you may remember this, and you may not know about it. I kept it a bit quiet, but we got ransomwared at Sports South. And it was when ransomware was not common. Like it was right when it was coming out. And I literally had read an article about it. This is what's crazy. The week before it happened, and I sent I was head of IT. So I sent my, one of our network guys. We didn't have a big team, but I had a guy in charge of network. And I'm like, I think his name was Daniel. I don't remember, but let's say it was Dan. I'm like, Daniel, just make sure we're backed up, right? I just read this article. I doubt this will happen. And literally a week later, Joel, it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. We get hey, guess what? We've taken over your servers and you got to pay us. At the time it was a Bitcoin, which sounds like a tremendous amount right now, right? And I was actually playing in the crypto world. God, I wish I would have kept those Bitcoins. So we get this, we get the ransomware, and I'm like, hey, Daniel, we have to go to a backup. They've locked up every file on our network. And he's like, yeah, we've got the backups. And it turns out nobody checked the backups. Like, we had the backup schedule, but there was literally nothing that was being backed up. So it's the same thing as a failover system, that you've got to make sure the failover system it works when things fail, but sometimes it's hard to do that. Same thing, with backups, we should have looked a little closer. We didn't. It wasn't, I wasn't really blaming anyone. Long story short, I spent a whole Bitcoin on it. At the time, I think Bitcoin was at like $600. And I had, Joel, the sad thing is, I think I had between 10 and 20 of them.
Oh my
at the time.
gosh.
Yeah. I wouldn't be on this call
in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Over the years, I've had. Yeah. My timing on crypto has never been. My timing on any investment has never been good. I digress. So again, I just want to give everyone assurance. We're doing everything and anything we can to make sure that this never, ever, ever happens again. Once we discover the total root cause of this, we have some educated guesses, and our team is going down that route and making sure that we're figuring out any chance that it was the software that locked the tables. Because what happens when you have a database and a table is locked, it can just, even though, so what I was saying was, your hosting website, unless you're an enterprise customer, you're in this apartment building. On the coreSTORE side, you're in your own database. You've got your own databases. I did that by design because, you've got your bound book data. We want to make sure, in terms of the performance, we want to make sure privacy, we want to make sure, your data is staying in that segmented, your own database. But at the end of the day, it's like a big server farm. We've got several servers, and at the end of the day, one database issue we haven't seen this before, but could end up locking things up to the point where everyone gets affected. We haven't seen that with coreSTORE. I mean, again, we had a downtime. I think the one downtime I remember was an actual hardware problem. And then we added more hardware and added what's called load balancers. And that's why we've been so stable. So this chain of events was extremely odd. And again, I wish I could give total exact answers. We've got people at this point monitoring things nonstop, and we're not expecting any more really, really, really bad surprises. So I appreciate everyone's patience with this. I apologize, and again, we're doing everything we can to make sure it's something that you'll not see ever again. You will see it on the coreSTORE side, just a heads up. That's not going to go away. I wish it would. Now we want to get a whole lot better on that side too, so we're working on that. But for me, priority number one is definitely making sure your point of sale system, when you have that customer staring in your face, nothing is worse. Oh, sorry, my system's down, or my system's slow, or it's horrible, right?
Yes.
Horrible for your employees, right? So that's just my my update there. And Josh, I'll let you take it from here, unless I don't know if there were some questions while I was talking that I should address.
One question that was brought up was the looking into the offline online sync, and I know we've talked about that. I know it's really hard to. There's a
I'm
lot of
glad
work
you
to
brought that
implement that.
up. No, that's a really good. I'm glad someone asked that because it was in my mental list of just addressing. Yeah, for me, that's become again another big priority. So it never was an issue for me. So back in the days, back in the New England's Patriots, even though we were in one stadium, we even had an offline mode, and we actually ended up having to use it one day. So the way I wrote the system, and again, for those of you who've been around for many years, you may remember the word polling. Do you remember that, Oki? Did you ever hear the
Oh,
term polling?
well, we had a. My term was probably different for polling, where we actually pulled ECR register information.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. Well, it's a very similar concept, right? So back in the day, you'd have a system that could run locally and then you'd
mhm.
have a server. So if you had multiple stores, the way it would work, you had the good old modem. Remember those days of dial-up
Oh,
modems? So every
yes.
night it would dial up and then it would pull the stores and grab the data. So for the football stadiums, even though we were in the same location, the servers were on one side of the stadium, right? And the retail store was on another side. And actually, there was, of course, a hard line connection between the two, but we actually had an event where, and I think it was during a game, but maybe it was right before the game. But regardless, someone cut that line, not purposely, but the line got cut. So we literally had a local server in the store as well as a server on the stadium level. And basically, the local server took over, ran the transactions, then fed them all the way back through. With coreSTORE, my point to all of our customers has always been, look, if your internet goes down, which is not an uncommon thing, right? There's always internet problems. The nice thing in today's day and world is you put up a hotspot, right? You just hotspot, and now you have another internet, and you connect your computers to that backup internet. But not only that, there's devices, there's routers out there that do that automatically for you. So if it, just as a general note, if you're in an area where you don't have reliable internet, it's worth investing in one of these routers. I think WTI Wireless is one of the companies that makes a really good router where you can put one or two SIM cards, right? And they're just data cards, and it automatically sees, hey, your cable internet's down, so it automatically does a failover and starts working via, the actual SIM card.
Mhm.
So from my standpoint, up to these events, I was like, look, that is absolutely a good answer, right? However, that answer does not accommodate a situation that we had, which is, hey, wait a minute, it's actually coreSTORE that's down. So I'm one who, I don't like taking any chances. I definitely think at this point, I told the team, I said, somewhere on our roadmap, we've got to get an offline mode working. We need to
Mhm.
prioritize it. I have no details. I have no timeline at this point, but it is becoming a pretty high priority item. And again, the idea is you would have a local uh, software that can run on each individual register, so you can at least ring up a transaction and it would then feed that transaction after the fact. There's a lot of details that need to be dealt with when it comes to that. We can create a simple version where you basically scan a UPC and potentially have to manually enter or update the price, depending how often we update pricing. There's the issue of those stores that have one register versus multiple registers. Where is that data stored? Because most stores don't have a server, right? So you still want to run it on each individual workstation, which means we'd have to do something similar to what we do with the bound book, right? The bound book, we're
Mhm.
constantly updating local storage. We would just enhance that, right, to update not just bound book information, but we'd have a local storage of some of the other data. It couldn't be everything because that would be massive data, but we just need to figure out what is the bare minimum that we need in order to help you keep transacting business. Because in the case of last week, if you did have an offline mode, it would have saved everyone tons of headaches, right? Now, selling a gun, that already becomes an issue if the main server's down. So we've got to work through that, right? Because if that server's down, obviously you can't go to the kiosk. But again, at the same time, nothing stopping you from handing them a physical 4473 piece of paper and filling it out. And, the background check in the case of last week, I mean, you could still contact Nix and do your background check. So um, we're working through that. It's fresh because we haven't been, it has not been on our list. We didn't feel it was necessary. We got very spoiled, with the stability of coreSTORE. At this point, that got ruined. And we've got to figure out some type of offline mode. And once we have a plan, we'll definitely share it with everyone. A long answer. I apologize, but that's an important question. That's a good question.
Excellent. Let's see. I mean, that's all I have for you as far as questions that came up pertaining to this instance.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll shut up now and let you do your thing.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, all right. So let's get rolling with the release notes here. We'll start there. So we did a release
You want your
last night.
screen?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Let me just remove this. So there's, as far as enhancement, folks, we probably have about 5 ticket items for enhancements. So let's just hop in and take a look at some of those new features here. So if we go ahead under our inventory and items section, one new enhancement we've done here just to make this a little easier for you is we've added the used checkbox filtering option for inventory right at the top. So you can now easily and efficiently just search for all your used items inside of coreSTORE to get those to pull up. While we're in the items, one big change that I do want to hit on is I'm not sure how many people are taking advantage of our channels. Right now, we do have quite a few channels, and I'm options, and I'm going to use the word beta because we still need feedback and testing on some, such as BigCommerce and WooCommerce. But we added an option for people using our Omni channels to mass update pricing for those products. So if we selected products here in our inventory list, you'll see up under the update items, we've added a new update channel items utility. What this is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to select your other channels, separate from CoreForce. So under our channel section, maybe you have, such as me, I have a BigCommerce store. I can simply go ahead and check that item. And as far as location for price calculation, what this is going to do is it's going to go ahead and find any product that you have designated in your items list with the checkboxes, and it's going to look at the Dubuque pricing, which is my Dubuque location, and I can say I want to mark this up 20% based off of cost and update the channel items. Now, what this will do is it's going to go ahead and create a new entry here on our channels tab for the channel item price. So if you guys aren't familiar with channels, we do have some documentation and CoreU programs out there. Under our channel section, currently customers are using BigCommerce and WooCommerce as additional selling platforms to CoreForce. You can also set up a secondary CoreForce website. So this just gives you the option to have inventory push to multiple selling platforms from one, obviously one solution, and you can go ahead and display different pricings. Some customers want to have a wholesale site where the pricing is a little cheaper than their public customer-facing site for general retail. The next enhancement we've added, and this might not be a huge ticket item for a lot of people, but just under our purchasing and suppliers, if you guys are importing any new suppliers, or maybe this is your first initial import with coreSTORE, we actually have added the option to import the FFL license name in the Excel import file. So our template has been updated with that field, and it is now available for the category mapping on the Excel import. We did make a Another big change in this, this one's pretty big, so I want everyone to be aware of it. We have made a change to allow you to edit section E on your 4473s, just in case you inadvertently sign and you need to go back and correct that signature. So underneath the fill out 447, oh, sorry, let me go back. I'm in the wrong spot. Underneath the manage 4473, if you have a section E now, as you can see this one with Josh Oakey, I can actually click into section E and make any changes. So maybe I want to clear the signature and re-sign it and resubmit section E. If you go back and take a look now, oh, my update popped up. I didn't update any info on it. But if we go back and take a look, you'll notice that we're adding a PDF version 2. I know some users ran into this, inadvertently signing section E. So we wanted to give you guys the option without waiting for development. We do need to maintain compliancy and track that. So that's why we'll go ahead and generate a new PDF version when you guys, clear your signature and re-sign.
Josh, is there a security option so that only certain people can edit that section E, or?
That I did not, but I will get that put into development for us, because that is a perfect example on something we need here. So section E, security. All right. From there, we also another thing to do with your FFL in Florida, there is a different delay process where the expiration date for 30 days goes off I believe the submitted date. We've had to adjust the 30-day expiration alert just because of how Florida's background process works. So that has been changed for any of our Florida users. You will not be getting early alerts saying that the background check's about to expire. It has been adjusted correctly. That is it for our enhancements. Is there any questions on the enhancement section? Actually, two more things, just as far as bug fixes that I think are very important. Bound book social security number visibility. We have removed that as a selectable field in the bound book dashboard. So your users aren't just going to be able to openly see that if they don't have access to actually get into the records. And we've also, there was a problem with your 3310 emails getting SMTP errors. We have resolved that issue too. So if you guys are running into any errors emailing your 3310s, please reach out to support and let us know. That's all I have as far as the March 11th release notes for coreSTORE.
That's seriously it?
Yeah,
Ezra,
I
is he
know.
full time?
No, I'm just part-time.
Okay. Hey, so
it's good I actually joined.
It is.
This
good
would have
that you
been the
joined.
shortest meeting ever.
No, we've actually got something really exciting to talk about now.
Cool.
So, and Ezra doesn't know about this. Surprise! No,
surprise, Ezra.
So we're
I love surprises.
On the back end, we're actually working on Corey, because Corey's been kind of we're stupid lately. And, he's been kind of stupid lately, and I've spent a little time with him, and I think he's getting squared away. So we just want to give you a little sneak peek of what's coming, and I think you're going to be impressed. And I'm actually going to take the question that
maybe
Bruce asked.
Oh, Bruce put one out too. Okay.
Bruce wanted to know about the Equinox 8500. So how do I set? I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to ask Corey, how do I set up the 8500? And then I'm going to hit enter, and we're going to see if the robot, you can see pray. I wasn't really.
Are you praying?
Please, robot.
Are you praying?
Look at there. Does that look good to you, Josh?
Hold on. I got to zoom in. My old eyes.
Same. Same.
So as you can see, it's giving you the instructions. Now I want to show you.
Oh,
A
wow.
lot of times these robots will give you instructions and then that's it. And you're like, why is this wrong? Or it's not saying it right. This robot's going to be a little bit smarter by saying, hey, I'm not cheating. I'm not making stuff up. Here's where I'm getting the information. So then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to go over here, and any number circled with a circle around it is an actual article that's going to walk you through how to do this stuff. So you've got some articles here on.
Yep.
Actually,
So that
look at
that one takes you right to CoreClear, just the articles itself, and then I believe the next one is going to be the independent article.
So let's go. There you go. How to configure the settings of the Equinox 8500. So you can see it's a lot smarter. It's not bull crapping you. It's really giving you the sources because that's what you want. Now, sometimes you may be able to, I can't talk, but sometimes you may be able to look at the screen and what it gives you and say, oh, okay, that makes sense. If you're very familiar with coreSTORE, CoreForce, CoreClear, all that. However, if you're not, go to the article, right? And this can save you tons of time because if you put in a ticket, it may take 5 or 10 minutes for somebody to respond back. Why wait 5 or 10 minutes when this right here gives you all the information that you're going to need? So this is going to free you up, going to make you more efficient. It's going to make us more efficient. And it's going to be really great. So Oki, I want you to give me a question. So I want to make it look stupid. I want to see if we can make it look stupid real quick. So
what is a channel? Since that was something we were just talking about, let's see if it knows.
What is a channel?
Now, if it does look stupid, that's on you.
This has not had any. This hasn't had any training. All it's had is our information. So it's got like almost 750,000 words of our documentation in it, right? So it's able to search all that stuff. I haven't given it any special instructions, which is what I'm going to do after we talk about things. Oki, does this look okay?
It's not bad because especially on the third, it's not great, but it's also the question is, and yeah, I mean, I'd give it a passing score.
Yeah, so it's going to take you, and it may not be. You may have a better understanding of what channels is than the robot, because literally the robot has no training. But
no, I think the articles that it found actually it gives you the detail that the question related to.
Right.
So I think knowing that you can click those, and I don't know if we can make those maybe a little different color. That would be cool, but maybe not. But that isn't. I wouldn't have thought you could necessarily click those, but maybe that's just me. But that's cool.
Yeah, and this is why we need to communicate better. So that's what we're doing right now. Hopefully, hopefully everybody out there remembers this, because I think we've got a lot more at our fingertips than we realize. We're not aware of it. So anything that we do, we want to make it very, very, very simple for you to be able to pick up and run with it, because that's why we're doing this. It's not to give you another puzzle to figure out. It's to actually,
well, and it's not, it's back in the days at Sport South, right? I'd bring in all this automation and robots, and every time I'd bring in a new robot into the warehouse, people would be like, Ezra, are people going to lose their jobs? It's like, no. We're growing, right? So how do I scale? How do I get more boxes out the door the same day? I've got to introduce new tools.
Right.
It's the same thing. Why people are like, Ezra, we hate your stupid AI. It's like, yeah, but just you can always curse at it and ask for a human. And I don't know why people still don't understand that. Just say I talk to you, just like you can ask our support staff to call you, right? It's like, I hate chat. Okay, ask to call. That's it. Just get online, get to a human, and say, hey, would you mind calling me, right? So you can bypass all of this, right? But at the end of the day, I only have so many employees. And you know what? If anyone has tips on finding good people, I'll take it all day long, right? But I think we all struggle as business owners and managers. It's hard to find good people, right? So, and it's a process to get them trained, and it's a process. And as we grow, right, resources, we try to add more resources. We can't keep up. This is the good news, right? We're growing. And so we have to be smart about this, and having a more intelligent AI system, right? Because AI is just a tool. It's a magic
And
trick, right?
we really need to hit on that as far as being just a tool, because there was a question in chat. Can Corey help me with my accounting? Absolutely do not take accounting advice from a bot.
No, it will make shit up, and then you'll be really pissed off. And we're trying to fix as much hallucination as we can, but inherently there's, everyone knows ChatGPT, everyone's heard of Claude, everyone's heard of Gemini. Underlying, there's an engine, right, that's running the AI, and every single engine suffers from hallucinations. This is not a coreware issue. And a hallucination is basically when you've got all of this information that an AI model is fed, and it will try to draw conclusions that are simply incorrect. I mean, when we first launched this, we had customers saying, "Hey, can I get help resetting my password?" And our AI would answer, "Sure. Oh, I just reset your password."
Done.
Done.
Yeah.
And it has no access to do that. There's no possible way. There's no, literally, AI's, again, I said it's like a magic trick, but it's not, right? So it can only do what it can programmatically do. It has access to data, right? Knowledge. It does not have access to systems. Now, quick little preview, that will change, and we're doing some really cool work with that. But right now, that's not even in the realm of possibilities. So again, it's just a tool, and just these two demonstrations. Hey, if it saves you from sitting an extra 10 minutes waiting for a human to answer, or sometimes it might be longer, and it gives you the answers, it's great, right? Nothing to be frustrated over.
Right.
People get really mad at us, and it's like, no, we're not making your life any harder. If you don't like him, don't talk to him, right? And we're trying to perfect that too, right? Because we see customers arguing with Corey, like, give me a human, and it kind of sometimes
he gives a little pushback.
Yeah, so it's like a child, right? It literally is like a child, and we're feeding it as much information as we can, but sometimes we're feeding it conflicting information, right? So it has to make certain decisions. It's like our map pricing challenge. If we get map pricing from 18 distributors and one changes a map price, who do we listen to? It's no different on the AI. It has to make a decision, right, when it has conflicting data. And it's getting data from, again, it's internal data for coreware, but at the same time, you've got CoreForce, you got coreSTORE. Sometimes our own data doesn't differentiate enough for the AI to know, hey, this particular knowledge base article is really talking about CoreForce. And we've been working on that, right? But again, it's all an evolution, and it is getting better. This was really good. I haven't seen this, and I'm impressed with the two answers it gave.
Excellent.
Does anybody out there have a question that maybe it's been rattling around your head for months, and let's just see if we can test it? I mean, Ezra and Oki will continue to talk, but we're looking at the chat.
Are you trying to avoid the awkward silence?
No, I would love to just really test it, because I want people. The only way that people are going to do this is if they know that there's value there, right? I forget to use all the AI tools that I'm paying for. And then I'll think back and I'm like, why didn't I just go there? Because we're so used to either going to Google, or we're so used to going to a human. And it's like, dude, those days are over with, right? We can do other things now.
I got one, as we're waiting, that you can try out. What's the best way to get started on coreSTORE? You're getting started with coreSTORE. And while you guys are waiting, I'll tell you a little AI hallucination story. So this weekend, it was probably Saturday night around, I don't know, 11 o'clock. I've been working on an app in my free time, and I wanted to see if I could have AI write it from the ground up for me. I spent 8 hours talking to this robot, and it kept telling me everything looked right. And it was literally, I was missing one number or one letter in like my API key or something like that. And it took me 8 hours to figure it out, because I was like, I'm just going to let him do it. and yeah, I got a little stuck for a while.
Okay, you're literally doing things that 2 years ago you would never have dreamed that you would have been able to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're understanding problems that you didn't even know existed 2 years ago. It's
That
like
is true.
that's the world we're living in now. It's like this is completely new, and the people that just jump on board and start using these tools, I guarantee you're going to be ahead of everyone else that's not doing it in a year or two. No, 6 months. Hey, so it's given me setup company information, general settings. I mean, it's given me all of this along with links.
Yeah, and it should have. I'd go to the number one at the bottom, access learning resources, or if it's at the top. I just want to see what that points to.
Manual.
Yeah,
Getting started
right to
guide
the to the manual. So you can see right there. There's a link to our Getting Started Core U course at the top, and then every manual, or every document that goes with this manual and the corresponding video in that course.
My gosh, that's
So,
all. Golly, that's a lot of. That's
yeah,
a lot of information.
Yep. So I like.
I see an important question, Oki. Someone wants to know how your welding the freezer went.
Oh, so I didn't do that. We actually bought a fridge because as soon as I got that in, got the pump or the compressor in, obviously figured out I needed to learn how to weld on top of that. I had to buy like a $300 kit to pump the Freon out and put in new Freon. So yeah, we just bought a new one.
Yeah, little it's called a penny wise, a pound foolish, right?
Yeah, yes.
So on a serious note, a couple of people asked about guns.com. I know we've got at least one customer running it. Do we know, is that going to be out? Because I don't even know the answer to that. All I know is it's taking a whole lot longer than it should.
Yeah, and I'm in the same path with you. There's still some kinks that are being worked out. I know we just have the one customer doing the testing right now. It has not been opened up to everyone. That's where we're at on guns.com now.
All right, so we've got a meeting in 2 weeks. Let's make sure we give a good status update, and maybe that's a good thing to demonstrate is the guns.com integration.
That sounds
good. And would be nice if we can actually get it released.
Absolutely.
Because I'd like to stop hearing about it. CoreWare gained nothing from this, right? So we just want customers to be happy. So the longer I hear about guns.com, the bigger of a headache for me it is, because it means I'm spending a ton of payroll trying to get this done. So let's get it done, guys.
Absolutely.
That's your marching orders, Oki.
That is number one on my list, because then I know Carter's been waiting. I know there's a couple other customers, so that'll be a big relief for us and the team to get that out there.
What about, did you see the Printful integration?
Printful integration.
I know, I believe that's being fixed in the next update. I assume you're referring to CoreForce Printful integration. Is that, whoever asked the question, just to clarify.
While we're waiting, do we have anybody here that had lunch on us today? We had 5 winners. You should have gotten your cards yesterday, or your emails with your.
Oh, we got Relic said yes.
Yeah.
We need proof of lunch, right?
Yeah, we need.
Oh, that might have been yes. That might have been yes
to the other question.
To the Printful code for us.
Hey, I already forgot. The minute food starts coming up, I forget everything else. So.
I know. Yeah, there should be a Sarah, Patrick, Larry, Brian, and Michael. You guys should have received your Uber Eats credits yesterday. So just let us know. We don't want to send you things that you're not going to use, obviously, because I could absolutely use that.
Yeah, and I think Mal brought up a couple of, I don't know if you want to scroll up, Joel, and she brought up a couple of, I think her statement, AI isn't going to replace your job, but someone who knows how to utilize AI. Well, that's very, that's 100%, I think, a very true. It's not for everyone, right? But I think her point is, there are a lot of jobs out there where your knowledge has to include how to leverage and use AI tools. I mean, look, Joel's job is reliant on it. I'm just kidding.
No, it
so-
is. I try to find ways to, because obviously you want to do as much work, as much quality work as possible. This just frees you up to do that, right? Also, I think Brian had a good point, and I know you weren't trying to be, you weren't trying to hurt our feelings, but you kind of did. No, seriously, this actually will help us, because if that information is not, up to date, your conversation with our robot will let us know that, right? So I can go back, or we can go back and look at, chat logs and actually query the robot, like, what are people asking that you don't have answers to? And then it can feed us questions. And I told Oki today, I said, I'll give you those questions, and you can just write articles 100% of your day, and we could have everything that you would ever need to know right here at your fingertips. So, yeah, Benjamin, I'm sorry, Benjamin asked that question. No, you're absolutely right, and we want that, obviously, because I don't want you to open a 5-year-old article that has not, like, the screen has nothing to do with what you're looking at. That is so frustrating, because I've dealt with companies like that. But yeah, we don't want to do that. So this will actually help us to keep everything more organized in regards to what you see and the information that you can get from us.
Yeah, and I think also what's interesting is, again, Mal brought this up, but you're seeing the AI tools take over your traditional internet searching. I mean, I'm finding myself doing that. I do not go to Google anymore. I tend to literally just go straight. And again, whether it's Gemini or whatever your preference is,
Right.
I'm still in the school of Chat GPT. Each one has, differences, and each one
Right.
has pros and cons. I actually, personally, I use the expensive version of Chat GPT, which, is a couple $100 a month. But I was able to this tells you it's a tool, right? I was able to literally max out the regular Chat GPT to where it basically put me in a timeout. I did it to Claude. Claude said, Ezra, we can't continue this conversation. So I had to go and pay for more AI power, because apparently I'm too much of a pain in the ass. So, but I use it for my everyday. I mean, it's pretty interesting. And Joel, I don't know if I told you, but Arden now is using it quite a bit.
That's awesome.
Because she feels like it's more of a conversation, as opposed to,
Yes.
and you can literally continue that that's the biggest difference between the Google traditional search and Chat GPT. It literally, it will remember, the context, and you can just keep trying to get to, the answers that you're looking for. And you're not seeing any freaking paid ads, right? So
Right. Yeah. My robot
that's a
knows me.
huge, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
but there's something new that I've seen over the past 2 days, and we are going to schedule a new AI webinar, because
We
everything
really need to. We talked about that. Yeah.
everything is speeding up. We're moving away from, we're not moving away from chat. I think it's always going to be a very important aspect of how you interact with AI, but it's going to become less relevant with agents. And there's a new solution that I saw. I'm on a waiting list. So if I get it, that would be great. But I know there are probably hundreds of thousands of people on this list, but it's called Manus AI. And I saw one guy on X was using it, and he was able to do, he just set it up, right? You just set it up, and you give the robot his instructions, and he went and he completed over 1 million different steps. So it actually went out into the ether and was finding information for him, and then it can come back and compile it, or it can come back and write your article for you, or you just like, hey, I want to do research on this subject, and then I want to write an article on this, and then I want to do blah blah blah. It's nonstop. It's just never ending. So it's not, again, AI is not going to take your job. It's just going to free your life up, right? Because you still have to have that spark of creativity, or the vision to run your business the way you want. But this is going to allow you to do it so much more efficiently. And like Ezra said, and I was thinking about this last night. I think of weird things at night. But I was like, this is not something that the AI is just going to allow all of us to work better and more efficiently for you, right? So Ezra will continue to hire people as we grow, but all AI is going to do is it's going to allow us to do all of that stuff more efficiently. Nobody's going to lose their job. That's why I'm telling all of you out there, if you start using this stuff now, it's going to be everywhere in a year or two, right? So if you did want to go do something else with your life, or you're looking for another job or whatever, you having this in your toolbox is going to be imperative to really rise to the top. I think it's going to become more, I think it's going to be more important for you to know how to really effectively communicate with the robot than as if you had a master's degree. That's where we're moving, because somebody that knows how to really mine that knowledge out of that robot. This guy over here just knows how to stick to something for 4 or 5 years, right? You know how to get the guy that's paying you what he needs right now. No, yesterday, right? So really dive into this stuff. I want to bring more of this stuff to you, and I'm getting motivated again. I don't know if you guys know, I just explained a little bit. Lost my dad Christmas. So I've finally feel like I'm getting a little bit of traction back with life, and I'm starting to get excited about this stuff again. So we'll bring you more content and really empower you to do things that you didn't even think were possible. And we're going to make all of our solutions smarter too. So I didn't mean to go that long. I just get excited when I talk about this stuff, because I know it is going to be such a game changer for everyone, literally everyone. So
we'll get busy and get our webinars back on track.
Yes.
Well, now I've got time, since we're only going to be doing 2 of these a month, right? So
no, we're
still
4. That's
same.
not change. Wow, you sure paid attention, Joel.
No, you said we're going to do it. We're going to do a core force once a month and a core store once a month.
That's just the updates. No, the webinars don't change.
Updates. The webinars were not changing, because everyone seems to like having the every other week.
You're stressing Oki now, because he's like, how am I going to come up with something to talk about every other week?
That's if our users keep giving us great ideas and enhancements, I'm going to have something to talk about in the roadmap. So
that's a good point.
No one will complain if we make these meetings shorter, I'm sure. So, but if there's topics to talk about, I think people enjoy them. So yeah. So let me, for just Joel, who wasn't listening to me, just to repeat, the idea is 1 week. We have 2 a month of coreSTORE, 2 a month of coreForce, just like we do now. Maybe 1 week we talk about what's upcoming, and then the following week we talk about what we released, right?
I'm trying to oh, what'd you say? I'm just joking.
let's draw a diagram.
Hey, I would like to very quickly announce our new winners. This is for the this is for our coreSTORE, for the next coreSTORE Update Live webinar that we do. I will post the winners in the link in the comments.
How many winners are we doing each week? Because I'm going to go broke feeding people.
I know you're doing 5, but we probably need to lower it, because I haven't seen anyone.
I think the 5
anyone respond.
Oh wow.
From our last, so if they ate on us and then they didn't attend this one, so it's like, come on, dude.
Wow.
Or maybe they're eating right now, maybe they're at lunch right now, so maybe we do like 2, don't you think?
Yeah, I think 2 is good. I think we did 5 just to get everyone excited.
Yeah, 2, and then I'm looking into getting some hats. So I know some of you have been asking for,
get more hats. Everyone loves the hats. Look, I don't even have I gave away all my hats, I think. So
yeah,
I need a new one
weird
too.
People
I don't
like
remember
these.
which one this is.
So
yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. So we've got some exciting things coming up. I know that everyone here at Coreware is like working very, very hard. And the reason I know that is because I can rarely get a hold of anybody. Oki ignores me.
We ignore you.
I think that's a lie.
Me.
I never ignore you, Joel.
Hey, Shannon, send me some information, and we may just have those hats shipped to you, and you can do this for us. But we need a quote first. So here's my info.
Thanks, Mal. Love W's in chat.
Hey, what's a W? A win?
A win, yep.
Nice. Yeah, Myron, I know that you're who I'm always thinking of when we talk about hats, because I know that we don't. I'm like, dang man, we got to get him a hat.
That Tombstone crew wants hats.
That Tombstone crew does want hats. Let's see. Oki, was there anything else that we were going to talk about? I think we've got some other things in store as well. Let's give them a little sneak peek, Oki, about the idea of having the battle pack ready to go.
Oh, I forgot about that. So yeah, we have just so you guys know, and I think you're going to send that out this week, Joel, for Core Weekly maybe. But we have created a ATF inspection battle pack. Let me throw up my screen here real quick.
Because we all know if I'm just an employee, or even if I own the company and I'm standing there and an ATF agent comes in and I've never dealt with them before, right? So it's like, oh, they're here to do what? We've got a way for you to really quickly, obviously, understand that this is a common occurrence. It's no big deal. We've got professionals here that either have been in that world, worked with on the other side, as retailers. I mean, we've got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to that stuff. So we're going to be able to help you through whatever it is that may be out of your realm, right? And I know we don't want to deal with these people. I'm not saying that derogatively, but you don't. You just want to sell your stuff and go home and live your life and whatnot.
And I always see it a couple ways, Joel. You have some clients who want to get them in and out as fast as possible out of their hair. Then you have some clients who want to make life a living hell for the ATF. And I'm of the mindset, let's get them in, let's get them out so you can carry on with your business.
For sure.
So if you guys go to care.coreware.com, I threw a link in the chat here. Our very own Tony Keller has gone through and prepared a nice preparing for your next ATF inspection manual here. So from here, You'll be able to look through the regulations. And then as you scroll down, when we get to step 4, what should an FFL do? We have the guides to show you how to give the ATF inspection access, which bound book report and filters you should run for your dispositions for them, your 4473 report, and how to do, your serial number counts, which is recommended to, do at least monthly. So Tony took a lot of time to put this together. I hope it's going to help everyone of our users in preparing for your inspections. Give this out to your employees too, so they know what to expect, and to be prepared the next time they come walking in the door.
Josh, is there a way that we can put this on Core HUD?
Yeah, I can go ahead and I can throw it in the Core HUD on the products updates section, the little eye icon over here on the right hand side. Let me show you. So on your main dashboard of coreSTORE here, you'll have this little eye information, and I will throw a link to it under product updates. So you should see a new ping here, and I'll do that here in the next few minutes. So about 10 minutes, we'll have that up in the Core HUD for you guys too.
That way you're not digging for stuff. You can just go right to your toolbox, click the link, and then you've got everything there that you'll need to appease that agent that's in front of you wanting whatever it is that they want. So I think Tony was very, very thorough. In all of that. So I'm really proud of that, man. That's really cool. I love when we can give our customers, some really powerful tools. So just getting you the information that you need when you need it. And
Linda just said they had the ATF in their shop for 55 days.
I saw that.
That's pretty long.
Oh, that's brutal. And if you do have an ATF agent in your store and you need help, make sure you let support know. ATF agent here, we will get a call immediately to you. We've got Tony, who is amazing with incredible experience, and we're happy to help wherever we can.
Yeah. Mal, it's Core HUD.
Yeah, get your mind out of the gutter.
Heads up display out there.
That's not our OnlyFans page, Core Hub.
Gee whiz.
All right.
Hey, Mal brought up. No.
Oh my goodness, man. Know your audience. There's
They're
like
all
church going people.
they're all gun guys and gals. Thick skin.
So let me ask you this: is there does anybody have any like closing words or?
No,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want me, I'll just close up by saying thank you everyone for continued support, being a great customer, and showing us a lot of understanding, even when things aren't running as smooth as we'd like to. So
Absolutely.
thanks for attending, and we'll look forward to another update, Core Force update next week, right?
Absolutely. Next
Core
Wednesday.
Force update next week, and Colt cannot wait. No, seriously. Hey, we are not trying to make your lives difficult. Ezra's that was perfectly put. If there are problems, we're in this with you. So please look at us. We're in the fighting hole with you, and we just want you to succeed. So, Oki, do you have anything?
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're here to help. We want your business running smoothly, and we need to hear what we can do better. It's our job to implement that on this side, and we're here for the long haul. We're partners at the end of the day, and we want every one of you to be successful. Your success is our success.
And one more thing I forgot. And if this is okay with Ezra. So with the winners we picked from this, obviously we're only going to have 2, but what I would like to do, Ezra, is maybe give people access to that new Corey, the winners, and just let them play around with it. And if you really want access, just shoot me an email.
Just anyone who wants access. Yeah, anyone who wants access, just reach out to Joel, and we'd love some feedback.
Absolutely. So,
yay!
Thank you, guys.
So we're gonna let the robot play us out. If you guys want to know anything, just reach out. We can't wait to see you in the next one, and have a great day.